Hi, I'm Joy Andelo Santos, together with Binibining Belen, Binibining Asis, and Ginoong Tolentino. For this day, we will discuss the ICT and assessment of learning. So I will read the two learning outcomes and I will proceed into the introduction. The two learning outcomes. First, explain the concept of the roles of ICT in assessment. Second, evaluate assessment tools using rubrics. So let's proceed into the introduction. Assessment is very important in student learning. There are many approaches of assessment in learning with an emphasis on the process of learning along with the product of learning. The ultimate measure of student competencies is performance. Development in information and communication technology, or what you call ICT, has thrown open numerous possibilities for assessing students' learning and providing immediate feedback. So when we say assessment, it is the process of gathering and discussing data from a variety of sources in order to gain a comprehensive understanding of what students know, understand, and can do with that knowledge as a result of their educational experiences. It culminates when assessment results are used to improve subsequent learning. So, we are assessing our knowledge on a certain issue in order to test or measure it. It is quite beneficial for us to improve and learn more. ICT and education promotes student engagement and knowledge retention. Students become more engaged in their work when ICT is integrated into lessons. This is due to the fact that technology allows for many ways to make it more engaging and entertaining to teach the same subject in different ways. Knowledge and use of ICT, or information and communication technologies, has become a near essential condition for obtaining work in our culture today. As a result of this fact, future workers, schools, and universities have begun to relativize their use to the point where the future workers enroll in ICT courses to improve their employability, and schools and universities, in addition to providing specific trainings in ICT tools, require their use in the majority of the subject of the programs they offer. That is why assessing our knowledge about ICT is very beneficial for us people nowadays. So that's all for the introduction. So let's proceed to the main discussion.
Types of assessment. So basically, we have 4 types of assessment, and these are the formative assessment, diagnostic assessment, summative assessment, and the authentic assessment. So the first assessment that we have is the formative assessment. So formative assessment provides feedback and information during the instructional process and while learning is taking place and while learning is occurring. So meaning to say, formative assessment takes place during the learning process and discussion. So in formative assessment, teachers monitor student learning to get ongoing feedback to improve their teaching and for students to improve their learning. So the best example of the formative assessment is the teacher is discussing certain topic and recitation. So when the teacher is discussing something and the teacher asked a specific student to answer his or her question and the student responded correctly, that is formative assessment. So it means that the ongoing process of learning, the teacher assures that his or her student are learning something. So the next assessment that we have is the diagnostic assessment. So diagnostic assessment is a form of pre-assessment. So when we say pre-assessment, it is done before a certain grading period. So in diagnostic assessment, this allows a teacher to determine individual student prior knowledge, including misconception before instruction. So the best example of this is the diagnostic test. So we are all aware of what is diagnostic test. It is conducted before a certain grading period or before a certain subject. And diagnostic assessment or diagnostic test is used to measure student current knowledge about the subject, their skills, and their capabilities. So with this, the teacher is well aware of his or her student's strengths and weaknesses so that he or she can think of a better plan what to teach or how to teach his or her subject properly. So the next type of assessment is the summative assessment. So when we say summative assessment, takes place after the learning process has been completed and provides information and feedback that sum up the teaching and the learning process. And also, this type of assessment is used to evaluate student learning at the end of a defined instructional period. So meaning to say, summative assessment is done after a certain grading period. So the best example of this is the paper and non-paper pencil test or summative exam, periodical exam, midterm exam, final exam. The result of summative assessment are bases for grades and reports to parents. The last assessment that we have is the authentic assessment. So what is authentic assessment? Authentic assessment describes the multiple form of assessment that reflects students' learning, achievement, motivation, and attitude on instructionally relevant classroom activities. Authentic assessment, also referred as the alternative assessment. Why? Because it offers students more choices than just taking a paper and pencil test like multiple choice or essay. So the word alternative implies that there is another way of assessing learning other than the traditional or the paper and pencil test that we have been used to. Authentic assessment can be in the form of students' performance to display skills learned, mastery of a process or procedure, or in the form of product or concrete output. So the best example of this is to dance a tango. So to dance in tango, it is learned in MAPE. Next one is to dribble a ball, also in MAPE. To give a report in class using a slide presentation, so reporting, it is done in every subject. Next one is the send an email, so over the ICT. Set up an experiment in science subject to lobby at the municipal council. So to sum up all of this, authentic assessment are more on application of skills and knowledge in everyday life or in real life. Types of assessment. So basically, we have 4 types of assessment, and these are the formative assessment, diagnostic assessment, summative assessment, and the authentic assessment.
Good day everyone, I'm Eugene B. Assis and I'm here to discuss the role of ICT in assessment learning. We all know that technology plays a huge role in our lives, not only among students and teachers, but also among other people. There are new technologies being created to give a student a higher level of thinking skills. Specifically, the aspects of creative and critical thinking and the opportunity to teach and assess those skills. In today's world, the use of ICT assessment is very helpful to the teacher because the information from the student's test result can be stored and easily retrieved. By using ICT, teachers can provide feedback to students on the assessment result. According to SINDHU 2013, technology must be used as an innovation tool and support for teaching and learning. in order to improve teaching and performance. With an effective classroom assessment system, a valid demonstration for student learning and development connected for teaching and classroom experience can be confirmed. Tests play an important role in traditional learning as well as e-learning, and they help students and teachers measure learning. There is freeware where teacher can take tests and evaluate learning electronically. One of the advantages of using web-based testing software or online testing system is that it provides a higher level of transparency compared to traditional methods or remote method. Most online exams produce the results immediately, and it is usually possible for the test taker to get immediately information on his or her results. Some of the key advantages of online testing are accessibility and flexibility, time management, save cost, statistical analysis. Security and confidentiality must also be considered. Some schools use software for privacy and security purposes on exam. That's all. I hope you understand the role of ICT in assessment learning.
Good day everyone. First and foremost, I am Lacey Belen and today I will discuss more about current trends in assessment and learning. Traditional assessment like objective tests such as multiple choice, matching type, true or false, and other paper and pencil tests receive criticism by some experts in assessment. The traditional way needs improvement in order for the learners to achieve more development. The 21st century assessment includes utilizing multiple measures of assessment, increasing the use of technology, focus on the growth and development of the learner, and differentiating the roles and responsibilities of the teachers, administrators, and other stakeholders. In the 21st century, educators and students can no longer disconnect. To help students become more college and career ready, we need to teach them how to apply what they are learning in school to the practical and intellectual tasks in their everyday lives, according to Wolpert Gowron 2010. Change is the only constant in this world. The concept of classroom has been shifting in recent years with dedication to purposefully designed learning spaces in seamless integration of technologies. This is according to Williams 2017. In the 21st century, we are facing a global economy where information travels at the speed of light, and knowledge of how to harness and sift through that information has become vital to our personal and national well-being. As an educator, we know that our students must graduate ready to function in this expanded world. Educational technology is used to increase the efficiency of education in teaching, learning, and assessment. Computers and related technology are viewed as the future of teaching and learning, and also as the powerful technological machine to promote development of learning. Computers are able to create effective learning environment. This is according to Professor and Oskan 2011. In today's generation, the educational system created a lot of changes, and technology plays a vital role on the student-teacher development. This aspect helps every student to nurture their minds and skills as they use those learning tools. Indeed, that everywhere and anywhere we can identify different technologies that can make our works more easier and faster. But we must remember that if there's a good side, there is also a negative view, so that we must be aware of it.